Welcome back to Homeworks Garage, and in this video we're going to be doing a long-awaited update on the Mk1 Golf GTI. Now, in all honesty, it's been a couple of months nearly since we got the car into here, as I've been busy with other bits and pieces, but today we are going to go through everything we've got for the car, and I've been and collected some more parts from where I had the car stored originally, so the doors and some panels and things like that I had, so I need to sort through all of that today as well. And then we're going to move on to actually doing some work on the car. Right, well, this is where we are currently at. I've got the car on its side because I want to tackle the underneath first, is what I've kind of decided. I think that'll be the, trying to pick somewhere to start. And I think, well, start with the underneath, try and get that, as much as that done as you can, and then kind of move on up the car, I suppose. Don't know if that is the right way because I've never restored a car before. But anyway, I've got the doors here as well, so just wanted to give you a general look at the doors. So the doors are all right, it's just a bit along the bottom, really. You can see there, the other one's in much the same shape, but the actual complete door itself isn't really in bad shape. Same with the wing. Got the passenger side one there, is the original. So the black one is an aftermarket new part, so that is for the driver's side. And spinning around to these are the other couple of bits that I already had. So new scuttle panel, complete scuttle panel, which the old one is cut out, so that is the new scuttle panel. I think I had this test fitted and I don't think the windscreen looked like it was going to fit properly, so I had to kind of adjust this part a little bit to get it to the point where it looked like the windscreen was going to fit back in properly. And then after that, we've got these two kind of both sides. It's the outer wheel arch for the back and an inner section by the looks of that as well. Which again, I've had these parts for a while, so these are all parts to go on the car. Now, I'm probably not going to need them for a while, but I wanted to just go up to the farm and see what I had. Just put that down and see what I had in terms of new bits. But that, to be honest, is about it. I've got a few of the old bits that's been cut out, obviously there, which obviously helps a little bit when trying to make like a new bit of metal to go in. But funnily enough, this bit here that I've cut out previously, I don't have the bit that I've cut out, so just gonna have to make a cardboard template of some description to transfer onto some metal to weld back into there. And like I say, up here you can see I've welded this piece in here in an attempt to start rebuilding obviously the bottom of the front part of the sill there. I'm not honestly sure which way to go. I've been having a bit of look online of what I should do with the underside of this, whether I should just, once it's all done, kind of take it all right back and then epoxy it. Seems to be what is commonly suggested online. But yeah, we're a long way off doing that at the minute. Well guys, to be honest, I am procrastinating a little bit because I'm really not sure where to actually start. But that is the whole point of us putting this on video, because these things seem like a good idea, but then they're always a bit harder than what you think they should be. But especially if you haven't got any experience doing this sort of thing. Now, this sort of thing is out of my comfort zone. I've never restored a car like this before, having to cut bits of metal out, that sort of thing. So kind of there's a lot of things that I look at and think I'm not 100% sure what the best way to tackle that is. But I've obviously made a start, and I think that's probably where I've went wrong when I've started, because I've done a little bit and then went, oh, I'm not sure if that's right or not, and then just moved on to another little bit, which doesn't get you anywhere. But anyhow, we need to make some progress, so I think I'm just going to start where there's a hole. So I've obviously cut this section out here in the past, so, and I think in my head I'm going, I want to start at the bottom of the car and work my way up. Obviously there'll be some bits that connect into other bits, but I kind of generally work on that, start at the bottom, work my way up. So I'm going to cut a piece to go into here and get that welded in. This is actually, looking at it, there's a, obviously it's the transmission tunnel, so there is kind of another piece of metal on the inside that wraps over the top, so there'll be a bit to weld in here on the outside, and then I'll have to weld another piece over the top on the inside. So that's what we need to do here anyway. So the other thing I keep looking at is, and obviously I've made a bit effort of kind of cleaning it off, because there has been a lot of wax oil sprayed all over the car, which is a absolute nightmare to get off. So if anybody's got any good suggestions on how to get the wax oil off, I mean, I think I've got some tar and glue remover. I tested a little bit of that and it does lift it off, but it's quite a slow process, you know, to put it on, let it bite in a bit, rub it, and it does slowly take it off. But I'd be interested to hear if anybody's got any better ideas on that. So I think that's enough rambling. I shall get on now and get some metal template made for this hole, get that transferred to some sheet steel and get it cut out and get it welded in. So one of the ways I'm going to use for cutting bits out to weld back in is just using a bit of cardboard. So with a hole up here that was already cut out, just used a bit of cardboard. I do actually getting some thinner stuff so it conforms a bit better. But basically, you know, trace around the hole with a bit of cardboard, cut it out, and then you can change that pattern onto your metal. And then what I did, once I put it on the metal, I've just cut it out with the grinder, leaving it probably slightly oversized. And then just kind of, you know, shaped it down so it's a good fit in the hole. Oi, oi, in we go. Oh yes, lovely. Well, this is where we obviously finished up yesterday, so this is the inside of that panel we welded on. So it needs obviously a fair bit of cleaning up in here, but we're basically going to weld along this edge here. So that is the weld finished off. And then, like I was saying, yeah, if I feel the bottom there, this piece here you can see that wraps over the top, it obviously is going to come along there, kind of up to there, something like that. So I'll have another bit, once this is all welded up here, I have another bit to weld on the top of there just to finish that off so it's back to the way it was. But it needs a fair bit of cleaning up needs done on here. And I've got some weld through primer, so I'll get all this cleaned up after it's finished welding. I'll paint it with weld through primer and then weld the next piece over top. Right, I've got this bit welded in now, so that is kind of, I suppose that bit now finished welding it in. So the next bit would be grind it down a bit and then put this next piece back in over the top. But like I was saying before, I've cleaned this up a bit with the wire wheel and then poked it a bit with me pokey screwdriver thing, and it is a lot of, you know, it is obviously, like I was suspecting, it's very thin and some holes have quite easily poked into it. But then when you come along this end, the same thing is happening down in here. It is very, very thin, and then that all connects up to, there's another hole there, and this is all Actually, on the underside around here, it doesn't look too bad. So this must have kind of rotted from the inside out nearly. But begs the question of how to tackle this bit next, because we're right on the, there might just be enough kind of to cut it out without interfering with any more of this. But I'm not too sure, to be honest, so I need to have a bit better look at that and decide how we're going to tackle it, because to make it worse is this underneath here there is a third piece, so there's actually, you know, here there's 3 layers thick of steel. So there's the floor, one from the underneath, and then this bit over the top as well. Right, so just a quick update on this bit. So that was attached in there. So I've very crudely got rid of the spot welds and basically lifted it up and cut that off so I didn't cut through the below piece. Now looking at this, we have got some decent enough metal to get welded to there. So the plan is to cut out around here, up to there, and then down into this corner here. Now, can I get the grinder in here to cut from this side? But what I have done is, you can see it, I've drilled a little hole there and a little hole there. Now, that allows me to draw a line underneath the car and where I can get in with the grinder and cut that out. So, should be able to cut this out. Yeah, not too bad. Probably going to run into a problem cutting this way with the grinder that I'll only be able to get so far. But then again, from underneath, I should be able to line up from where I am to the holes, and then finish it off from underneath. And then that just a little bit of surface rust on there, but you can see some good metal there. So get that cut out, and then rinse and repeat with cutting another bit of metal out and welding it in. Camera wait and see, but so this is kind of, I don't know what I did with the last one. I don't know if there's easier ways of doing this, but basically get that. Don't know if I'd be better off using something a bit more accurate than an old Sharpie. But to be fair, the last one wasn't too far away. I mean, who leaves a pointy corner like that? Right, so there is cardboard template. Right, so it's a little bit oversized, this panel, but it's better being slightly too big as too small. So what I want to do now is, because this has got, it's got a curve in it that way, but then it bends at that end as well. So not that I have any experience with this, but I ideally want it. And it's going to be that way, isn't it? Because you need to try and get it roughly at that profile there first, I think, because that's the long one. So basically, if I put that on there, and with my little hammer, just try and, no idea. It's more difficult than it looks, this. Having said that, I've never been shown how to do it, and I'm just trying to figure it out as we go along. Anywho, I think that's probably close enough for getting it tacked in, and then we can just manipulate the rest of it on the car. Right, well that is that bit welded in. My welding has maybe got fractionally better than the first go yesterday. It still needs a little bit of, I couldn't quite get in around this side, but I can get that from underneath, so it needs a little bit more on there. But a couple of things, I've run out of, well, gas bottle for the welder's pretty much empty, and my welding helmet, it's a speed glass one, and it's kind of keeps saying the battery's flat and it's not going dark enough on welding, so I can't see very well now. But anyhow, progress made, that is the main thing. Well, I'm going to leave that one there this weekend, because this is meant to be a video series about repairing the Mk1 Golf that kind of, I suppose, is as realistic as I can make it. So you've seen what I've done this weekend, and that is basically best part of Saturday, and again done a few other bits this morning, Sunday today, and now it's Sunday night. Like I've just said, I've ran out of welding gas, my welding helmet's not working properly. I'm probably short of a few tools for doing this sort of thing as well. So if this is the sort of thing you're interested in, subscribe to the channel for more updates on the Golf in the future. Like I've said, this is kind of trying to make this as realistic as possible and not just a beautifully polished 20-minute video, and it's probably 30-40 hours solid of work, which makes everybody at home think that, oh, that's easy, I can do it, which is exactly what I did. But anyway, if you've liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more updates on the Golf in the future, and we'll see you in the next one.